I decided to do the NaNoWrimo WIP tag created by Bethany Atazadeh because NaNoWrimo. Alright, let's start with number one. What is your NaNo WIP? The genre and a little bit about the story. My NaNoWrimo WIP actually began its journey back in 2013 when it was a completely different story than it is now. It started off as just plain historical fiction, but after some reviews from a critique partner and having some other people look it over, I decided to change it into a historical young adult fiction. So I'm using young adult characters, and actually I'll go as far as to say it was during the Civil War period and then present day. So in this particular WIP, I will be writing a story from the past during the Civil War era and then present day, and how those two will eventually link together. So I'm really excited about this. I started the rewrite back in the spring and then decided to just let it be for a while I brainstormed the rest and then worked on another project, and I'm picking it up again on November the 1st. What stage is your WIP in? Like I said, I believe it's about the fourth edit, or the fourth rewrite, I should say. As far as I could figure out, because so much has changed, but yet there are still bits and pieces from that first draft. What are your nano goals? So honestly, I like the nano goal of 50,000 because I work a full-time job, 40 plus hours a week, because this time of year we do some overtime. And then on top of that, I have kids who are very active in their school and sports, and I like balance. So on top of everything, the 50,000 is challenge enough. And honestly, I don't like the 1,667 words a day, so I round it up to 1,800 per day, because I've been writing long enough to where I know I can get that out there. Some days it's a little bit more of a challenge than others, but rounding it to 1,800 assures me that I'll get ahead. And I like to have days off too, honestly. Who doesn't? The holiday, Thanksgiving at the end of the month. My birthday is November 5th. I don't know, the weekend, some days you just want a break. Your brain needs a break. So the 1,800 is perfect, but essentially the 50,000 is where it is this year. Do you have nano rewards for meeting different goals or the final goal? Honestly, I did last year, and as much as, I don't know, goal rewards, I tried it, but to me, a reward is sitting down with my family and watching a movie, knowing that when I'm done with this word count session, or I'm done with this is my reward. So to me, quality time with my family is reward enough. I may come up with a reward for the very end, a book I might want, because there are a lot of books on my TBR list. Are you in a nano cabin, or do you have nano buddies? There are no cabins for NaNoWrimo, but I do have some buddies, of course. I have one buddy who does not like social media, but I talk to her almost every day. And then I have the buddies on my list from you all, the writing community. Have you done NaNoWrimo in the past, November or other months, and how did it go? I believe, like I said, my first NaNoWrimo was back in 2013. I did not win. I believe that I have only won NaNoWrimo 2 times, and it was the 50,000 word count. One of them was a story that I wrote for myself to process the grief of my dad's death and everything. And I think eventually I'm going to turn that into a book, but that might be later on down the road. And the other one was fanfic, because I like to write about characters that already are. It's fun to imagine characters that you already know and putting them in a different, I like the alternate universe fanfic, putting them in a different scenario, different situation, but they have the same, you know, makeup, their character, how they look, everything, you know, how they would respond. So those were basically learning points for me, because if you've watched my channel for any length of time, I only wrote poetry and journaled for the longest time. Dialogue and storytelling is a little bit newer for me. So I believe that being able to write those strengthened my writing. So to answer the question, I've only won twice. I've done it every year since 2013. You do the math. What are you most excited about for this Nano? I think what's exciting to me is I get to jump back into my world and figure this out. Even though I do like to plot a little bit, I've always been a pantser. I've always been one to fly by the seat of my pants when I write. I get into that creative zone and I just let the characters tell me the story. So I'm excited to get back into this story. What is your number one advice for people doing Nano? My number one advice to you is to do you, baby. Be yourself. Do what works for you. If you like to plot, then plot. If you like to pants, then pants. But set a goal, whether it be the 1667 words a day, or you know, you spread it out, like one day you do 300 and the next day you do 2,000, or, you know, do what works for you, because let's face it, we are all different and there is not one particular way to write, and I cannot say that enough. Do what works for you, but have some kind of plan. If winging it works for you, that's fine, but let's face it, if you wing it and you say, all right, if inspiration strikes, it's not going to strike every day. And that was why I didn't win a bunch of NaNoWrimos, because I am a winger. I like to do things at the spur of the moment, but I'm finding that planning, even if just a little bit, helps. What is your Nano handle so we can follow you? It is EAHamm, which is my author name. And yeah, find me and follow me and I'll follow you back, because it never hurts to have too many writing buddies. And who will you tag to do this Nano tag? I would like to see my friend and cousin Jennifer Reed do this. I love her channel. I will link it below. She is amazing. She won runner-up for, I think it was Young Adults Virginia or whatever, for her YA fantasy novels. I'm blanking on the name for it. Love Frost Legacy. I don't know why I forgot, and it's amazing. So I would love to see her do this video, and if I didn't tag you and you haven't been tagged by anyone else, go ahead and write that in the comments below. Tell me that you're doing the tag and I will be sure to watch your video, because let's face it, I love hearing what everyone's WIP is and what everyone's NaNoWrimo is, because it's fun. We're all in this together and it's worldwide. And like I say every week, keep on writing.